fresh session of Agency Blueprint. Today, we're diving into choosing your agency service. No need for long intros, let's just get into the vibe. Here's the rundown of what we'll break down. First off, we're touching on that balance between social returns and those revenue-driven moves. It's about understanding the kind of service we're serving up to our clients. Second, gotta talk about those traps and pitfalls. Gotta keep our eyes open, you know? And to wrap it all up, we're gonna lock in on selecting your flagship offer. All right, first things first, let's break down the game between social return and revenue-driven services, and where most folks trip up when they're out here offering agency services. Now, when we talk about social return services, it's all about moves designed to elevate brand credibility, boost that brand presence, foster communities, and pull in that organic traffic wave. Their return, it's all about that social love, you know? More eyes on them, more people vibing, just feeling that engagement. But it ain't about the money straight up, not immediately. You look, where they're falling short is in that cash flow. There's no real way to pin down that revenue boost, to make it something you can touch. But no one can deny having that solid brand rep, that credibility, pulling in more followers, that's real. You see, when more folks catch wind of the genuine stuff a brand's putting out there, it brings in more clientele, more loyalists. But it's tough, man. Like, I can't just say I dropped this much for you and look how much I got you in return. Drawing that line straight up? That's the challenge. There ain't a solid dollar figure you can pin to that organic rise. It's fleeting. In those rough patches, when the business heads deep dive into their numbers, they're like, this is bringing in the paper, this ain't. They'll hold on to what's bringing in the stacks and let go of what's vague in returns. Makes it tough to show them the real worth. These offerings ain't invincible, you know? Especially when times get rough and all a business head is thinking about is where the next dollar's coming from. When you've got those customers coming in steady, that's all from that social vibe. We're talking things like handling socials, blowing up on Insta, making waves on TikTok, cutting those videos just right, being there for the people, holding down the community, diving into the podcast scene, capturing moments on film, unleashing that creativity, and it just keeps rolling, you know? Anything that's not about pushing those ads, promoting straight up, or directly tying to that cash influx. On the other side of things, we got those services all about the paper. The whole vibe with these is to make sure the clients see that return when they drop cash on advertising. It's hitting those sales, boosting revenue, profits, and growing the business. Requires a tighter skill set, so the hurdles to get in, they're up there. Getting in the game's a bit tougher, which means standing out's a whole different level. We ain't playing around. Got that A-team with us, you know? Some folks might look at a steeper climb and think it's a setback. But me? I get hyped. As long as we ain't talking something wild like rocket science or something, if it's just a touch more challenging to dive into these services, even better for us. We're about that dedication, taking things to the next level. And the real play? We delegate, so we ain't getting our hands dirty doing the service direct. It doesn't really touch us. Makes it smooth to vouch for that service, you know? And if you're bringing in that paper for them, they ain't gonna sideline you. Plus, for clients to switch up, that comes at a cost, and it's a heavy one. Man, clients get it. They see there's this mix of the craft and the science when it comes to blowing up a business and raking in that cash. They get attached to what we offer. We're out here like modern-day alchemists, and they're hip to the fact that not many can pull off what we're laying down. We ain't just like the rest out there. This takes me back to that earlier talk, that session where I broke down what perfect competition really means. And for real, these top-tier services, they set the stage for an agency to dominate, kinda like a monopoly. Man, why is that? 'Cause there's only a handful who can step up and deliver like we do, especially in those niche areas we've already dialed in on. They get tied to what we bring to the table. But then, on the other side, you got those social vibe services like handling TikTok or managing Insta. Almost anybody can hop on that wave. There's not much that sets one apart from the other. So, moving on to the next piece, the golden part, we get to set our price based on how we deliver. 'Cause when you see that clear ROI, charging by performance, that's a sweet spot. For real, a lot of times we're pulling a cut from what we're stacking up for our clients. 'Cause we see the fruits of our labor, right? So we grab a piece of that pie, and as they're getting richer, we're seeing our pockets get deeper too. It simplifies everything, right? So that's the breakdown on our revenue-driven side of things. But before we dive deep into the services I'm vibing with for your e-com agency, focusing on those niche needs, there's a few traps we gotta sidestep. First off, don't get too attached to that service you're offering. Picture this. It's like folks tying the knot with Snapchat or Facebook, committing hard to their service. And man, that's one of the quickest ways to trip yourself up. Man, the whole point is, we ain't getting all caught up over a platform. Just like we don't choose a niche because it lights a fire in us or pick our sub-niche all based on what gets our heart racing. We're moving strategic, not sentimental. We're not out here choosing platforms because they vibe with us personally. It's not like, man, I'm feeling Facebook, so let's roll with that. Nah, we're auditing, checking the scene, figuring out where we can make the biggest impact for our clients. That's the real motive. The real question is, what's going to bring in the most for our clients? And, that scene can shift. Like, maybe today, after doing your homework, you're leaning towards Facebook. But fast forward a couple years, and suddenly Facebook ain't the golden ticket anymore. We switch it up, jump to another platform. We're nimble like that, quick on the draw, both in the bigger picture and in the details. On the micro level, say we're working with a client, we can mix up our offerings, add or pull back, always ensuring we're making that paper. Let me take you back to a moment, my Black Friday nightmare. Last year, right around Black Friday time, one of our top-performing Facebook ad accounts just got hit with a ban out of nowhere. This tends to go down on Black Friday, especially with Facebook ads. That algorithm's on high alert, super touchy. They're on their toes, flagging stuff left and right, because everyone's out here dropping stacks. With all that buzz and activity, that algorithm's grinding over time, and it gets jumpy, real sensitive to every move. So picture this. Our ad account gets hit with that ban. But wait, it gets wilder. We had this Facebook rep, kind of like our inside connect you get when you've been dropping a certain amount on their ads. And guess what? Dude was out taking a break on vacation. We were stuck. Couldn't even reach out to our Facebook Connect. Had to wait it out for a couple of weeks. And, for e-commerce, Black Friday is a big deal. For a lot of these e-commerce spots, that's like half their annual earnings coming in. For real, hopefully it ain't that deep. Like during these times, we typically see that boost, sales jumping up by 50 to 100%. It's a game changer. But when this all went down, instead of freaking out, yeah, it hurt, but we didn't lose our cool. We just shifted gears, pushed the pedal on those Google ads, full throttle. So we took a quick pivot, focused all our energy on Google ads. We already had some Google game in motion, but we decided to double down on that. Just went in deep. Now, real talk, did we pull in the same kind of numbers we would have if that Facebook ban didn't hit? Oh, and just so, we got that account back later. But to answer that, nah, we didn't hit those same heights. Still, we didn't take a loss. Honestly, we made a solid move just leaning into those Google ads. But the reason I'm dropping this story on you is to show, on a smaller scale, you feel me? In those unpredictable moments, those wild turns, when things go sideways or maybe you catch a ban on an ad account. You gotta be ready to swerve, switch it up to another platform. Because at the end of the day, you don't want your client just sitting there, watching the clock, bleeding out cash. You gotta stay ahead, keep it moving. So yeah, we kept the client's cash flow going. It wasn't the ideal scenario, and that ban, out of nowhere, was a downer. But at the end of the day, the client was still vibing with us, because we brought in a good chunk of change using those Google ads. It's all about adapting and making it work. So that's what I call micro-pivoting. Now, on the larger scale, the macro, we can totally shift our agency's main hustle if that platform ain't giving us the returns we're after. Like I said, imagine a couple years down the line, Facebook isn't the goldmine it used to be, or folks just aren't vibing with it like they used to. You gotta be ready to make those big moves too. If something ain't working, we switch it up, no hesitation. We're not out here getting too attached to a platform. What we're really about, what we really vibe with from the jump, our specific focus, our sub-niche. Like let's say, helping apparel brands hit that 7-figure mark. Using those paid ads for sure. That's our guiding light, our North Star, Whether we're rolling with Facebook ads, Google ads, or whatever the wave is at the moment, we'll dive deeper into that in this training. But what's really key, What truly matters is who we're doing it for and the means we use to get there. It's all about the journey and the people we're riding with. As long as we stay true to our game, that medium of paid ads, we're good to go. Got me? Now, speaking on that whole idea of sticking too close to one service, let me drop another story on you. Not just from my own playbook, but something that's actually gone down in the industry. All right, let me paint a picture for you using Linda as an example, but this is something that really went down back in 2016. Check it. Linda decides to throw her chips into Google Ads, starts off with a cool grand, and just like that, sales start coming in, flowing smoothly. Everything's looking up. Linda's on cloud 9, right? With all these sales pouring in, she's bringing more hands on deck to handle the surge. She's even upping her game on the ad spend. She's vibing, feeling blessed to have stumbled upon an advertising lane that's really pushing her business to the next level. Out of nowhere, Google pulls a move that changes the whole game on their ad platform. Let me set the scene. It's a chilly February in 2016, and out of the blue, Google decides to drop those sidebar ads from their search results. Yeah, just like the visual I showed you in that slide earlier. It's a whole new world out there, and folks had to adapt quick. By sidebar ads, I'm talking about those ads that used to be chilling on the side of your search results. And then, just like that, Google pulls them out, taking away that prime ad real estate. Businesses that were riding solely on Google Ads for their traffic and sales, man, they felt the hit. They were blindsided, for real. Google just straight up erases like 70% of the ad real estate in one swift move, just gone, overnight. So what's left? Those few ad spots that survived become like prime downtown property, super competitive. Everyone's trying to snag those few golden spots left. It became mad expensive to even think about advertising on those remaining spots. The cost per click skyrocketed. It's like everyone's fighting over the last piece of gold. And poor Linda? Girl had to let go of some of her team, and she's out here scrambling, trying to find a new way to pull in those customers. Man, that story hits different even if Linda's just a made-up character. A lot of businesses felt that pain in 2016, you know? It's wild how they put all their chips in one basket, leaning heavy on just one way to connect with their customers. They got too attached to that one platform, and that was the downfall. It's a lesson, for real. Don't get too attached. Stay versatile. If you put all your energy into one place, you're setting yourself up for a fall. Diversify, always have a plan B. Keep it moving and never let one channel have all the power. You gotta spread the love, keep your moves versatile. Don't get boxed in. It's about adaptability and staying 10 steps ahead. Always be on your toes and ready to pivot when the game changes. Man, you can't let giants like Zuckerberg or Larry Page define your moves. Remember, platforms, they rise and fall. Just like that iOS 14 shakeup with Facebook, you saw that. Stay light on your feet. Never get too attached to just one scene. When it's time to switch lanes, do it smoothly and stay ahead of the game. After you dive into this training, the service you vibe with, that's going to carry you for the next year, maybe even 2. It's all about the journey and where it takes you. Don't stress, but it's essential you get where I'm coming from. Now that you're hip to the game, I've got 3 major keys for you. These are like the 3 commandments. And based on these, that's how we choose our path. Off, it's all about location. We can't let a service anchor us down to one spot. We gotta move freely, work from anywhere on this planet. If not, gonna trap our hustle, limit our paper chase, and hold back our growth beyond the physical. You know, video production just isn't aligning with the vibe. I'm laying out these guidelines, making it crystal clear, just in case you're entertaining a variety of gigs. Picture this. Diving into video creation for a client or capturing images for their enterprise, it's just not it. You could roll that way, but you'd be stepping over the line, breaking these crucial commandments. And let's keep it real. These principles hold weight. When you're crafting your empire, it's about more than just chasing the dollar. You're looking for that sweet spot, a life rich in value. You might be pulling in hefty checks from video creation, and I've had folks approach me, sharing their stories, you know? They tell me, I'm out here capturing content for these brands, and the money's good. Yet, the catch is, they've got to be on site in the thick of it all. I'm out here trading my precious moments for money, And I can't jet off to any corner of the world because, my name holds weight in my particular area. So yeah, the money's flowing in, but let's break it down. How much am I really making per hour? I'm essentially auctioning off my time, and on top of that, I'm chained to one spot. Forget Bali or globe-trotting adventures. I'm stuck. What I want for you goes beyond financial prosperity. I'm talking about freedom, both in terms of time and location. Trust, that's the recipe for a business life filled with joy, not just a bank account that's overflowing. So, yeah, we're rolling in cash. But where's the freedom that's supposed to come with building an online empire? That brings us to the first commandment we can't afford to break. Moving on to the second, the commandment of time. Transactions need to be swift, yet they shouldn't drag out for months. We need a quick turnaround, feedback on the double. And just to lay it all out, building websites? That's not the move. There are services out there like SEO and website development. No doubt they bring value to the table, no question about it. But the reality is, they demand a significant chunk of time before you start seeing some real moves. And of course, it's crucial for the clients to hold it down. Stay patient in those early stages. We lay it all out, set the expectations straight for the first 3 months. But let's keep it 100, waiting around for 6, 12 months just to catch a glimpse of progress? Nah, that's not the vibe, and that's the real beauty of pay-per-click. It's immediate. Results show up right when you need them. We're putting money down, testing the waters, and just like that, we see what's up. Based on the results, we're in a solid spot to make moves and decide what's next. But on the flip side, when a service is dragging its feet, taking its sweet time, that's when things get tricky. Charging based on performance? That's a tough sell. And when it comes to making a client ecstatic, well, good luck. So here's the deal. The real talk when it comes to time. There should be zero connection between the hours we put in and the value we bring. Just because we're clocking in more hours doesn't mean our value shoots up. We might whip up a killer ad campaign in a quick 30 minutes, bringing in a sweet 100K for them, or we might be grinding for 6 solid hours. Either way, our paycheck stays the same. These are exactly the kind of services we're aiming for, steering clear from that time for money trade because that's a game we're never going to win. Now, on to the last piece of the puzzle, the commandment of scale. The service we provide should be something we can replicate like a formula, and better yet, it should be something that we can hand off, letting someone else take the wheel. Additionally, this service should have the bandwidth to take on more than 7 clients, making it scalable and efficient to bring in new business. Say, for instance, you settle on website building. Sure, it's a valuable service, no doubt about it, but you've got to ask yourself, just how many websites can you realistically juggle at once? Dealing with website building, each project turns into a mammoth task, and before you know it, you're hitting a ceiling with how many clients you can manage, putting a damper on your growth potential. On the flip side, with paid ads, we're talking about a whole different ballgame, especially when you bring delegation into the mix. And I'll dive deeper into that in our next session. With this approach, scaling up becomes a smoother ride, and even the folks on your team handling the service delivery can comfortably manage 6, 7 clients without breaking a sweat. In the beginning, you've got to pour a bit more into it, lay the groundwork. But once you've got the ball rolling, it's not going to eat up your whole day. And the best part? Since we've broken that link between our time and our value, our earnings stay constant, no matter how many hours we're putting in. In reality, our income actually sees an uptick because as we're bringing in more money and enhancing our results over time, the budget we're putting into ads grows. These are the golden rules, the 3 commandments you've got to have in your arsenal. I laid out these commandments for you because they shape the range of services I'm presenting to you as choices. But keep this in mind, particularly about the second commandment. We are not bound by time. This is where a lot of folks get it twisted, and it's the very reason why many never attain financial freedom in their lifetime. They get caught up in this endless cycle of exchanging their time for money. I've stepped away from the whole time for money game. I get it, my worth isn't tethered to the ticking clock, and that's crucial because time, as we know it, is finite. Becoming a slave to time? That's a no-go zone for me. So now that we've got that clear, let's delve into selecting your flagship offer. Let's break down our agency sales funnel to its core, getting straight to what it truly takes to elevate an agency. First off, we've got to finesse and continually refine your irresistible offer. And that's exactly the stage we're at right now, all right? So stay locked in. Next up, we've got booking strategy sessions, followed by conducting and closing these sessions. And then the fourth key element, we're talking about creating an obsessive client experience, ensuring they're more than just satisfied. Now, here's where many stumble, particularly those who spread themselves thin by choosing more than one distinct flagship service. Imagine someone's operating in both Facebook and Snapchat ads. Now, it's a common misconception that it's essentially the same gig, just with two different platforms. But that's where they're mistaken. In reality, you've got to run through this entire process, top to bottom, twice over. The offers you're putting out there, they're going to differ. The strategy sessions, those are going to take a different turn because you're pitching a unique service, a whole different breed of service. And when it comes to client experience, satisfaction, and how you deliver your service, expect all of that to shift as well. So essentially, what you're doing is doubling up, piling on both the workload and the complexity. And trust me, that's a road you don't want to go down, especially when you're just starting out. Even me, with all my experience, I've never ventured into having more than one single flagship service. Now, let's talk about why a flagship offer is so crucial. When you've got two different offers, that means two separate funnels. Each of these funnels demands its own unique messaging, tailored to specific platforms, distinct sales processes, and a unique way of conveying value. So if you were to roll with two services as your flagship offers, you're essentially signing up for double duty, managing two completely different sales funnels. And when we pivot to the aspect of service delivery, things would be nothing short of chaotic. Predictability? Throw that out the window, because with every new client, it's a toss-up between which service and process you'll need to dive into. Today, it might be Snapchat ads, tomorrow Facebook ads. There's no consistency, and that's a recipe for confusion and mistakes. Moreover, each service requires a dedicated person to handle the delivery. So, in essence, you'd be running two separate agencies under one roof. That's why it's pivotal to strip down all that complexity to a single streamlined option. People are on the hunt for a clear solution, not a buffet of options. So whether your heart's set on Facebook ads, Snapchat ads, Google ads, or any other platform, at the end of the day, clients aren't sweating over the platform you're using to run ads. I can honestly say, I've never had someone approach me with a specific request for Snapchat ads or Facebook ads. People aren't fixated on the platform. What they're really after is a solution, which in this case translates to e-commerce growth. Your goal? To consolidate all these existing problems and challenges into one single, comprehensive solution. Your offer. So you're essentially putting it out there saying, looking for e-commerce growth? I've got just the solution you need. It's akin to someone wanting to shed some weight. Advocates of intermittent fasting will straight up tell you, want to lose weight at lightning speed? Intermittent fasting is your golden ticket. The keto enthusiasts will swear up and down that the swiftest path to weight loss is diving headfirst into a keto diet. Meanwhile, the vegan crew will stand their ground, insisting that adopting a vegan lifestyle is the real secret to shedding pounds. Sure, all these methods probably have their merits, but at the end of the day, what people are really craving is a one-stop shop solution. They want clarity and simplicity, not a menu of options. And they're looking for you to break it down for them. Make it crystal clear why intermittent fasting outshines keto or any other option on the table. Right? So when it boils down to it, the particular option or platform at play doesn't really matter. What they're truly invested in is finding a specific, tailored solution to their needs. Given that we've already positioned ourselves in a very specific sub-niche, that's ultimately what our clients are focused on. They want to know, what's the solution you're bringing to the table? How are you going to help my apparel brand, my wellness venture, or my sustainable enterprise to truly flourish and expand? They're not hung up on the platform you use. That's not their main concern. With that in mind, let's talk about recommended options. For your flagship service, I'm pointing you towards paid traffic. Now, within this realm, you've got a variety of choices to consider. We're looking at options like Facebook ads, Google ads, Snapchat ads, TikTok ads, and Pinterest ads. Now, let's delve a bit deeper into each, so you can make a more informed decision. Cool? Now, you might be wondering, why are we zeroing in on paid ads? To shed some light on this, Let's dive in, all right? Because for me, it's crucial to not just lay out the what for you, but to also delve into the how and the why. I'm all about providing clear instructions, absolutely, but I believe in equipping you with a comprehensive understanding, offering insights that elevate your grasp of the subject to a whole new level. Okay, let's break it down. We're talking about the e-commerce funnel here, which is essentially the journey a person embarks on, from having zero awareness about the brand or our client, to encountering the product through an ad we've placed, and eventually making a purchase on the client's website. That's generally how it goes, right? We kick things off with paid traffic. Picture this. Someone scrolls through Facebook and stumbles upon an ad featuring some engaging content, be it an image, a video, or what have you. Next, we direct them to a landing page, a specific website. Upon arriving there, they're greeted by the product. Nice and smooth, they dive into the details, soaking in all the information about it. And then, they're hit with the offer. Now, that's a crucial part. How is the offer laid out? Is it compelling? Does it grab them, really seize their attention, and spark that desire to make a purchase? Following their engagement with the offer, they navigate through the site, possibly initiating the checkout process. Now, this brings up another key aspect. How well is this checkout process fine-tuned for optimization? Because generally, after traversing through this stage, they are likely to make a purchase, right? Of course, it's not always a seamless journey for everyone. There are moments when people might stray off the path, perhaps getting distracted or even abandoning their checkout process. And that's exactly where we can tap into the power of direct marketing strategies, using tools like SMS and messenger marketing to re-engage them, steer them back on course, and guide them towards completing their purchase. You don't need to sweat the small stuff right this minute. I'm laying all of this out for you to understand why we've set our sights on paid traffic. It influences the entire system, top to bottom. Now, we could have easily chosen something like landing page creation, couldn't we? We might have decided on conversion rate optimization, CRO, during the website journey, or even focused on crafting stellar ad content. Yet here we are, zeroing in on paid traffic. And why? It all boils down to its position. It's right at the top of the funnel. It's a game changer, impacting the entire system. Think about it. Without a flow of traffic and without eyes on the ads, there's no chance of people landing on the page, encountering the offer, or navigating through the website journey. So, when it all comes down to it, nothing else truly holds weight if the traffic equation isn't solved. Given that this encompasses the entire system, it addresses their most critical issue. And it's a simple truth. Solve the significant problems, and you'll find yourself being compensated generously. That makes you an indispensable asset. So that's the game plan, focusing on paid traffic. And I'm hoping this is crystal clear for you now. I've laid out the entire ecosystem of the e-commerce funnel, right? So you can grasp why we're honing in on this area. I've put you on game about the whole process of getting folks on the internet to cop products from our clients. You've seen it firsthand, making sure you comprehend that when we talk about paid traffic, we're talking about the starting point of everything, the very top of the funnel that influences the whole scene. If there's no paid traffic, if the ads ain't catching eyes, then forget about people hitting up the landing page. It's all pretty much irrelevant. So, what's the deal with paid ads? It's all about setting off those targeted ads, aiming at both cold and retargeting audiences, and steering that traffic straight to the client's website, transforming it into solid purchases. We've got 3 key areas on our plate: targeting, creatives, though usually we roll with the ones they hand to us, and the ad copy. But hey, no stress on this, because down the line, we've got a whole bunch of moves planned out that are all about making sure you get your paper. In the upcoming module, we're diving into how to bring our A game when it's time to hire that A player, someone who's got the know-how on all of this. This whole program, it's geared towards helping you lock in your first 1 to 3 big league e-commerce clients. It's not about stuffing our brains with all the ins and outs of Facebook ads, nah. It's about leveling up, advancing to the next chapter in your growth journey. With all that laid out, when we're talking about paid ads, you've got a couple of paths you could choose to stroll down. On one hand, there's the more established, tried and true route with Facebook and Google ads. On the flip side, for those looking to tap into something fresh, there's platforms like TikTok, Snapchat, or Pinterest up for grabs. Peep the way I'm using and or here. Why's that? Because Facebook and Google Ads, they roll together. They're like a package deal. And to be real, for most situations, especially for the sub-niches, it just doesn't make sense to split them up. So, in a lot of scenarios, you'll find yourself choosing both Facebook and Google Ads. And that's actually what I'd suggest you do in most cases. Why, you ask? Well, these more traditional advertising platforms, they just click better in most scenarios, mainly because a whole lot of brands already got the rundown on them. So, you see, you ain't gotta sell them on the platform itself. Nah, all you've gotta do is sell yourself. It's like most brands, they're already hip to what's up with Facebook and Google Ads. They've witnessed their rivals utilizing it, fully aware of its impressive performance. Right now, your sole task is to concentrate on showcasing your unique value. Basically, articulating why you stand out as the perfect individual to handle their Facebook advertising. So, this is the scenario where Facebook and Google Ads really shine, and that's the exact reason why the majority of y'all will be gravitating towards them. Now, when it comes to the fresher platforms out there, they really start to make sense for items of a larger stature. Take, for instance, sectors like fitness, cosmetics, or clothing. If you decide to dive into any of these sub-niches, which are quite prevalent and significantly large in terms of market size, Google and Facebook ads can still deliver outstanding results. This is because, as we delved into in our last discussion, most agencies aren't really honing in on specific sub-niches. Not really about whether you've surpassed them in that particular aspect or sector, right? That's clear. This means you don't necessarily have to zero in on a specific service just to further outpace them. You have the capability to outperform them by channeling your efforts on just one sub-niche. That's logical. However, if you choose, the newer platforms have the potential to serve as a deal that slices through the clutter more effectively. Understandably, this isn't crucial since your sub-niche already accomplishes that, but it's certainly something worth pondering over. So you might decide, all right, I'm going to specialize in TikTok ads for cosmetic brands. There really aren't many agencies out there with a sole focus on cosmetics. In truth, they are quite scarce, if at all present. Since I haven't really come across anyone discussing the idea of delving deep into a sub-niche quite like we do. Nevertheless, incorporating that approach could indeed craft a compelling proposition. Just to sum things up, for the majority of you, the go-to options should be Facebook and Google Ads. Nevertheless, if you decide to focus on one of those larger sub-niches, be it fitness, cosmetics, or another common e-commerce category like apparel, you should definitely consider exploring platforms like TikTok, Snapchat, and the like. That's the rundown. Your action item following this session is to pinpoint a flagship offer for your agency. Just a couple of crucial points to bear in mind. Steer clear of falling victim to decision paralysis. Find your groove and press forward, you know? So if Facebook feels right, embrace it, make it official, and proceed. Keep the momentum going. You've honed in on your sub-niche, selected your flagship offer. Great, you're set. Now, just keep moving forward. Also, hold the anxiety. If you're feeling lost about the services I've just broken down, or if your flagship service seems like a foreign concept, don't sweat it. Believe me, I was in your shoes with even less knowledge when I kicked off my agency. Don't let that uncertainty hold you back from progressing. We're going to cover how to put it all together in Module 1840. Look, one of the major keys to success that I've discovered is putting an end to what I like to call hypothesis questioning. You feel me? What I'm talking about is that what-if mentality. What if this scenario plays out? What if they hit me with this question? What if I... Look, when and if that time comes, we'll tackle it, all right. In the vast majority of situations, these hypotheticals never even materialize. But it's something I see a lot, particularly with those just stepping into the entrepreneurial game. They end up exhausting so much energy on these hypothetical scenarios that haven't even occurred, right? They get all worked up over potential future problems. Nah, instead, just center your attention on what's in front of you, you know? Keep your eyes on your own path, and concentrate on taking it one step at a time. Keep at it persistently, and soon enough, you'll lift your head and notice you've come a tremendously long way. And all those questions that used to throw you into a frenzy, you'll find you've got the answers to them now. But I really want to drive this point home. Avoid falling into the trap of hypothesis questioning, getting caught up in all these possible scenarios, stressing over feeling underprepared. Here's the thing. You're never going to feel like you know everything. Imposter syndrome is a legitimate issue, no doubt about it. You're constantly going to grapple with feeling inadequate or underprepared. And quite frankly, that's because there's always more to learn, right? But the key is to keep moving, keep climbing to that next level. And when you reach that new height, you pick up the skills and knowledge necessary to ascend even further, right? That's really the essence of entrepreneurship. You're never fully in the know. I mean, even I don't have all the answers. If I did, my business would be operating on an entirely different stratosphere. I'd be raking in 10 million a month if you catch my drift. So it really boils down to grasping your current standing and not falling into the trap of feeling like you need to grasp every concept and detail before you make a move. Just had to get that off my chest, but really don't let decision paralysis get the best of you. Just make a choice and keep pushing forward. And if you're still in the process of picking your sub-niche, remember to apply these same principles to that decision as well. With all that said, that wraps up this video. Stay sharp, make decisions swiftly, and let's keep this momentum going. I'll catch up with you in the next module.